This is why I don't use it all the time. There we go.
Okay. Hello, my name is Keenan Refutation, and I'm here to talk about sports, specifically the NHL. 2 weeks ago, a classmate of mine stated that Lord Stanley's Cup is the most difficult trophy to win in North American sports. His claims were that the NHL regular season is the most rigorous regular season in sports, that the playoffs are designed to push the teams to the limit, and that the NHL is one of the only sports where they don't rely on one superstar to carry the whole team, and that they have a whole complete team. But I believe that it is not. I believe that the NHL is the Stanley Cup is not the most rigorous. Is not the most difficult trophy to win in North American sports. Actually, Ryan stated how the NHL is an 82 game series with a the regular season is an 82 game series, just like basketball. It has many similarities to basketball. It is the same format where it's 82 games in one season over a long period of time with many back-to-backs, games and many traveling across the country. But I believe that the NBA regular season is a bit more rigorous because as he claimed that NHL players are really big burly guys averaging around 6'1", 200 pounds, while the NBA players are averaging 6'7", 200 pounds. Some guys 7 feet and above, and that they on average have 29 shots a game, and have to worry about those 29 shots and all these players on the rink. But I believe with the NBA you have to worry about more. You have to worry about more field goals. You have to worry about more. You have to worry about more field goals. On average there's 84 shots per game versus the 29 shots per game. It's a more fast-paced game, and they're playing it at less at a less time span. While a hockey game is 60 minutes versus the NBA game's 48 minutes. It's a much more fast-paced game with a lot more going on. And his second claim was that the NHL playoffs are designed to push the 16 teams to absolute limits. I believe it does push the teams to absolute limits, but I believe that there are more rigorous playoffs, like what's going on right now, March Madness. March Madness is in my opinion more rigorous because there's zero margin for error. Like in the NHL playoffs, it is a 7-game series. There's a little bit of room for an off game, and there's a lot of space in between all those 7-game series. While in March Madness, you're playing almost back to back on the daily, and you're only playing one game. So there's no time to rest. There's no margin for error because that one game could be your last game. And his third claim was that the NHL is the least likely to benefit off of one star and have a whole complete team. But I believe any championship team does not solely rely on one star. Like Michael Jordan, they did not solely rely on Michael Jordan. Even though he was the face of the team, he didn't even win a championship until he had Scottie Pippen. The greatest athlete of all time, couldn't even carry a team to a championship without assistance. And just like Stephen Curry, he couldn't lead his team to a championship without the help of Klay Thompson or Draymond Green or his whole team. And that's what any sport too, not just basketball. FC Barcelona doesn't solely rely on Messi. They have Neymar and Piqué to help them. So I think that every sport does not rely on just solely one specific star to carry the team to a championship. I believe that is every single sport. and those are the reasons why I believe that Lord Stanley's Cup is not the most rigorous or not the most difficult championship to win in North American sports. Sorry, bro. You want to go back?
The U.S. women's soccer team, they're not going to compete because they filed a complaint.
Yes. Skates and some pads.
Somebody tried to
Foolishness.
Somebody tried to take you off.
Yeah. Cool. Cool to just like when you're not even in the play, just hit against the glass. Like that makes me so mad.
Or get punched.
For real. But if I have nothing to do with the play, I shouldn't be doing
Yes,
it.
sir.
All right, well, you cite the advocate's argument pretty clearly. I thought that you followed the structure adequately. You directly contradict the claim, so you're going straight at it. I thought that was fine. On the first point, your basic argument is by example, kind of an analogy to the NBA, and you're using some interesting statistics to make the comparison about the height and weight of the players. I thought that was interesting. Since the advocate cited that information as being important, I thought that was a legitimate argument to make. On the argument about the number of shots that are being taken per game, again, I think there's an interesting comparison there. I don't know how that relates necessarily to the difficulty. There's some difference in the game, but when it comes to the difficulty of performance or how hard the games are, there might be some question. And I think you could illustrate that, for instance, by how frequently you're going up and down the court, how long they're on the court, the number of minutes that they're playing. There might be some other ways that you can make that argument a little bit stronger. It seems to me like you kind of undermine your argument a little bit by saying, well, and they play 60 minutes versus 48 minutes, and you're saying, so there's more action that 48 minutes. I'm going, yeah, but it's 12 minutes less time that they're playing every night, so doesn't that support the advocate's position that they're playing a longer amount of time? So I'm not sure that was advantageous comparison for you to be making on that particular point. On the second point, I thought that you're sticking with your basketball comparison. In this particular case, you're talking about the college playoffs, and I thought that that's an interesting point. When you talk about the difficulty of it, one of the questions becomes, how are we going to measure difficulty? There are lots of different ways to do it. How easy is it to achieve something? How few opportunities you get to fix something. I don't know exactly how we measure those kinds of things. I think it's a pretty difficult achievement when you have no margin for error. That's the argument that you want to be making. And in college basketball, once you get to the playoffs, there is no margin for error because you lose, you're done. Whereas in any of the professional sports, it's a playoff series, and you lose, well, maybe I'll be better tomorrow and get another chance, and especially in these 7-game series, because don't they have 7 games in all of the? It's not like baseball where they have 5-game series and they're all 7-game playoff series, that sort of thing. Yeah, and then the same thing with football. You've got the same kind of thing. It's a 1-game thing, and that's it. And I think that's a good comparison to make. It's an interesting one to make. I think you could show, for instance, maybe make a comparison between NHL teams and how frequently they repeat as champions versus, let's say, some of the other teams that have the same kind of problem that you're talking about. I mean, the college teams don't repeat the way they used to do. I mean, I hate to say it. UCLA used to be the NCAA champion every year. It was like, okay, we had 8 years in a row where they were the NCAA champion, but you don't get that anymore. It's not like that kind of thing happens anymore, and it's been forever since that happened. Yeah, but I don't think they won 2 years sequentially.
No.
I just think that's one of those things.
Yeah.
Whereas you could look at the NHL and say that does kind of happen. And on the third point, I thought that you made a reasonable comparison. We're back to the basketball comparison here. I think you ought to maybe look a little bit more at the hockey thing and say, well, his argument is an interesting one, except I've got 2 words for you that undermine it completely. Wayne Gretzky. In other words, Wayne Gretzky is the NHL championship in Edmonton. And what has Edmonton done since Wayne Gretzky disappeared from Edmonton? Nothing. You know. So his argument is all about how, you know, it's not dependent on star players. Well, why don't you just find the example that undermines the point in that particular field? I think there's an opportunity that you missed there. All right, thank you.